Hello guys, hello grade 10s. Welcome back to Manala's Arc. This is the second part of a series that I'm making for equations. This is a topic of equations for grade 10. So if you go to my previous video, you will see that I was talking about linear equations, and then on this one now I'm talking about quadratic equations, which is fairly easy. I feel like this will be very understandable. It's not a problem because we are taking 75% of the understanding from grade. In fact, all of this 100% it's from grade 9. I know you all know this one, all right? So before I get into quadratic equations, remember the past video, the first part of this series, it was about linear equations. And at the end of the video I gave you these questions. I hope they were not giving you any problems. Hope you managed with this ones. And then now, so we have to move to quadratic equations. So this is basically prior knowledge from grade 9. I've been saying that. So here you have to remember the zero factor law. You have to know factorization. I'm sure by now you do know that. And then you know that when you're working with quadratic equations, there are two solutions. That is that. And how do you spot the quadratic equation? Let me choose a pen there. Quadratic equations, usually, they would have the highest exponent as 2. Right? Or something that's a multiple of 2. Let's say that. So, in this case, we are not saying it's strictly that. We are saying it's mostly that. Quadratic equations, it's mostly questions that have the highest exponent of 2 or a multiple of 2. However, there are tricky questions that are not like that. Okay, so now let's move on to the questions. I don't want to waste time on this ones now because it's revision, of course. So I've prepared some questions for you, or for this video, let me say. And then those questions here, you have this kind of problems. As you can see, in all these 4 questions, the highest exponent is 2. So since the highest exponent is 2, the most basic thing that you have to do here is to factorize. After factorizing, then you use the zero factor law, as we spoke about it. The zero factor law, you probably know it, you just don't know that we call it the zero factor law. So I'll explain that during the process as I do these things. And let's just get straight to it. Let me choose a pen there. So in this case, you have a quadratic trinomial. You have x squared minus 5x minus 14 is equals to 0. So here you factorize a quadratic trinomial. And every time you factorize a quadratic trinomial, you open 2 brackets and equate them to the right side, right? The right side is usually 0 there. So because the last term is negative 14, we know that in our brackets we are going to have opposite signs. I hope you can factorize, guys. If you cannot factorize in grade 10, it will be very hard for you to pass. Extremely hard. So please make sure you can factorize. You can apply all 6 types of factorizations that you did in grade 10. So factors of x squared, we have x there. And then factors of 14 that can yield to 5. We have 7 and we have 2 there. So these are factors of 14 that can give us negative 5. So the zero factor law, it says if you're multiplying 2 brackets like this and you get 0, at least one of those brackets has to be 0. So we are going to equate all of them individually to the right side. So x plus 2 is equals to 0, or this bracket x minus 7 is equals to 0. And then there you just transpose the number to the other side. So you have x is equals to, when you transpose 2 to the other side, it becomes negative 2. Basic things from grade 9. Same thing applies here. You have x is equals to, when you transpose negative 7 to the other side, you get positive 7. So these are the answers you have for this question. Moving on to the next one. So this now, we just hit a little snag here, but it's not a problem. It's not a serious problem. We just realized that this can be a quadratic equation type of a problem, just that the terms are not organized the way they are supposed to be, right? So we organize those in the order of let me put this properly. ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. We want to start with the highest exponent term, then we go to the variable with exponent 1, and then we go to the constant. We need it to be in this format because now in this question here it's not in the format we want. So we organize that. So the first term obviously is going to be this one, 2x squared. The next term is going to be this one, which is positive 5x. And then the last term will be this 3 transposed to another side. Now this 3 was positive on the right side. It will now be negative on the left side. So now we've organized the equation in a form of a quadratic trinomial. And then you factorize them. I know there are many grade 10s, even including grade 11s, who are scared to factorize a sum like this one. Now, if you need me to do a video on factorization, please tell me. I'll do that as soon as you tell me. So here, the factors you're going to have, because this last term is negative, you're going to have opposite signs. So you're going to have a negative and a positive, right? And then the first bracket will have 2x, and then the next bracket will have an x there. And then after that, this bracket will have your smallest factor, which is 1, and this bracket is going to have your factor 3, right? And then after that, you use the 0 factor law, so which means you equate every bracket to the right side. So here you have 2x minus 1 is equals to 0, or your x plus 3 is equals to 0. Thereby, meaning here you'll have 2x is equals to 1, and then here you're going to have x is equals to negative 3. Right, so this part on the right is sorted. Now you have to sort this part on the left side. So when you divide this side by 2, you'll also have to divide this side by 2. Therefore, your x this side is going to be 1 over 2. Easy as that, right? And then so now we are moving to question C, but I'm sure now you get the idea. It's like the same thing over and over again. So here in this question now, we have two terms. We don't have a trinomial. What are we supposed to do? Same thing. We transpose everything to the left. We have 2x squared. When we transpose 4 to the other side, it becomes a negative 4x. That is equals to 0. What is the right thing to do here? Let me organize this because this is not... I don't have enough space now. So let me create some space here, because I can see I've taken a lot of the space. These videos are not pre-planned, guys. They just happen. So we are saying we transpose 4 to the other side. I'll end up having 2x squared minus 4x, that is equals to 0. So we have two terms here. We don't have three terms. This is not a quadrinomial the way we want it to be. In fact, it's not a quadrinomial because this is not a trinomial. So what we want here, we take out a common factor. What is the common factor between the two? That is 2x. And then here we'll be left with what? We'll be left with x minus. Here, when we take out 2x, we'll be left with 2. That is equals to 0. Use the 0 factor law. You're going to have 2x is equals to 0. Or this bracket x minus 2, it will be equals to 0. Let's solve the right side. X is equals to positive 2. And then here we divide both sides by 2. X is going to be 0 over 2, which is 0. Easy as that. Hope that's not a problem. And then here we have this one here. It's not arranged in the order that we want. We have 8x minus 16 minus x squared. So now what we are going to do here is organize it properly. So we are going to have x squared plus the next term is this one, right? If we use this format that we spoke about here, the next term will be 8x. The other term will be negative 16, and that is equals to 0. So what happens there? For us to factorize, the coefficient of x squared needs to be positive, right? So now we are going to divide every term here by negative 1, and the right side by negative 1, so that things happen the way we want them to be. Eventually, we'll end up with x squared plus 8x. Sorry. I'm making mistakes now. So we are going to end up with a positive x squared. It's no longer negative, it's now positive. And the 8 is no longer positive, it's now negative 8x. The 16 is no longer negative, it's now positive 16. That is equals to 0. From there we factorize. So this is a quadrinomial. We open two brackets. That is equals to 0. And because the 16 is positive, we are going to have same signs here, and our same signs, it's going to be a negative and a negative. So negative and negative. Factors of x, it's x and x. Factors of 16 that can give us 8, it's 4 multiplied with 4. So now we equate both brackets now to the right side. So I have x minus 4 is equals to 0, or x minus 4 is equals to 0. Do I still have space here? Can I still provide space? Oops. I lost my page there. Let me see if I can still provide space. Or in fact, let me answer this question here. Let me answer it here. I still don't know how to use my tools properly, guys. So you'll bear with me, please. So we said here we have x minus 4 is equals to 0, or x minus 4 is equals to 0, right? So which means when we transpose the 4 to another side, we're going to have x is equals to positive 4, or x is equals to positive 4. Because they're the same, you make a conclusion. You're going to say, therefore, x is equals to positive 4. Then you end it there. This is as easy as that, guys. There is really not much complicated when it comes to quadratic equations, because we did them in the previous grade, right? So drop some comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share the video. And I'm going to leave you with a few questions to deal with. Not to strain you guys. I know you can do this. Just a few questions for you to make sure you actually know these things. So here are those questions, guys. Please go and attempt these questions to see if you can solve them, right? They are so easy, they're so relaxed, so they won't give you problems. So before you exit this video, please copy these questions down and try to solve them and see how you do. That's all I'm asking. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, like, and share the video. And I hope to see you on the next one. Enjoy. Not enjoy. Goodbye.